spend some time with the dead.
On demand almost. We'd be like, hey, can you like touch the duck or make it go off? And it would just start lighting up and going crazy.
Why should we be afraid of you? Hello and welcome to What Goes Bump the Night. I'm your host, Riley Clark, and alongside me today is our special guests, Paranormal XP, Terra, and Paige.
Hello.
Well, as you can see, I am by myself today. Trevor and his wife are at a concert, so I will be navigating us through this conversation. And the first thing I want to know is, how did you two meet and form Paranormal XP?
Well, we're actually cousins.
Okay.
So we've known each other our whole lives.
Yep.
We've been close growing up our whole lives, and we've just always been into the paranormal. We were those kids that would have sleepovers and play with Ouija boards together. So
Thanks, Grandma.
yeah.
Yeah, we're only 2 months and 2 weeks apart, so kind of
Okay.
put us in a playpen, and we're like, you're friends. And we're like, okay.
Yeah. And then I think about 5, almost 6 now, years ago, I just started ghost hunting as like a little hobby on the side. Like I had a spirit box and that was it. And I brought Terra along for a couple of them, and then it just kind of grew into what this is now. Like we got so much gear. We're like, we should share what we find with people. So let's start a YouTube channel.
Then we had to pick a name, so
Yeah, that took
Paranormal XP.
months.
And so, like, what does the XP actually stand for? Does it have like a meaning behind it?
Experience. but
Experience?
Without the
Okay.
E.
Okay, makes
Just
sense.
because XP looks cooler.
Totally. I agree with you. And you get the easy tagline of paranormal being right at the beginning, so it might help out with your viewers. So being able to
Exactly.
find you, so that's cool. So what was, I guess, you guys probably had paranormal experiences growing up together then, if you were playing with the Ouija board and all of that. Was that kind of what led you, down the path, like having those experiences, or was it like a lot of us too, like seeing it on TV and things like that?
I don't think we really had any real paranormal experiences with a Ouija board. We were just playing around as kids. But we both grew up in haunted houses. Terra
Yeah.
has like in multiple haunted houses. So I don't know if you want to talk about that first.
Well, the first time I ever saw a spirit, I was 5. So it's been my whole life that I knew that they were real. This was my very first haunted house, and then I moved into another haunted house that my parents still live in. I had so many experiences there. Like I won't even go visit them at night or stay the night there, or when I lived there, I wouldn't stay there alone. If they were going away for a weekend or something, so was I. Which is interesting because I go and like hunt them out, but it's fun if they're at home.
Right.
And I lived in a haunted farmhouse for like 4 years growing up. It was my grandparents, and I would just hear footsteps coming upstairs all the time. I was basically like, my room was basically in the attic. So it was already scary enough. And lights would turn on and off, and it was weird. Everyone's had paranormal experiences there. So it's definitely haunted.
Yeah, I feel you. Feel you totally. I grew up we only lived there for a year, but we also lived in a haunted farmhouse, and my room was also upstairs. It wasn't the attic, but it was upstairs, and we had the same stuff happen. Like the one thing that would always happen is the upstairs bathroom would flicker, and then the faucet would like turn on full.
Mhm.
And
Nice.
then you would walk over there, the light would be on, and like you knew it was off. And then I'd be yelling at my sister, "Why are you messing around?" And be like, "I've been in here the whole time." So I totally
Yeah.
understand.
I've had those too.
Yeah. So have you investigated, Terra, your parents' house? Then
Oh, my mom
since-
would never
No,
let me do that.
never?
No.
She's in denial. She
She's
doesn't
in
want to know
denial.
what's there.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think it's the same spirit from the first house?
I honestly don't know. I was so young in the first house. Like, I moved out of there when I was like 5. So the spirit that I saw there was the spirit of a little girl. There's definitely children in my parents' house. You can hear them playing in the hallway at night, but I don't know if it's the same little girl or not.
There's something on routine at your parents' house.
Yeah, it's like
It's on a loop.
Yeah, like
Okay.
opening the closet door every night, same closet door always. Faucets, lights. The weirdest thing that ever happened to me is there's like this really creepy dark hallway. It has no windows. Always dark, there's no light in it. And there's a closet, and then at the end is 2 bedrooms and a bathroom. So I'm home alone, I'm trailing to the bathroom, and the closet door was open. So I was like, oh, it's weird. So I closed it, continued, and then it swung open like violently behind me. And I was like, well, I'm going to keep that open. So I think whatever is like there is really just living its daily life, and then in some way we're interfering, and then they're kind of doing what they need to open their closets. I don't know. It's very strange. It's always the same
Yeah.
like activity.
Yeah, and you probably see that at a lot of the locations that you go to, that if you do have a chance to go there again, you might get, the same thing. Sometimes, not every time, obviously. It might depend on the day that you went. Like if you were to like plan, I think, an excursion a year exactly apart, your evidence, if something is residual and is happening on a loop, is probably going to be pretty similar, if that makes sense. Because
Yeah.
like, why would the spirit have something happen on a day that didn't make sense to them?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if there's an energy of something that happened that day that's happening over and over again, either it always happened every day at that same exact time, like a getting home from work, like routine type thing, or there was something that happened that day. Like it could have been like when they turned this light on or something, like it led to a phone call, that changed their life, or I don't know. Like I'm spouting off just general ideas, but like I feel like that makes a lot of sense.
There's one location, the Beck House that we go to, and there is something on loop up there, and it's constantly walking the same path in the attic. It's all you hear from the middle of the house to the corner of the living room.
Yeah, every night, same pathway of footsteps. And we always hear it every time we go. Never fails. We've been there, 9 times or something?
9 times, yeah. We hear it every single time.
Every time.
That's crazy.
And the attic's not accessible to like guests or anything. It's the owner's private area. And she's down in the parlor on the 1st floor, so.
Yeah, and all the haunted like area is the 3rd, so we're then the attic.
Wow. That's wild. Have you gotten like anything else from there? Like any like voices that might lead to why? Like any answers?
I'm trying to think. That was our last.
I think it was a kid the last time.
Yeah.
They said that it's the kids playing in the attic.
Yeah, there's this little girl named Eladon, and she apparently drowned in the well there, and her like spirit, it just hasn't been put to rest because they can't find the well. And I think we asked if it was Eladon playing in the attic, and we heard a little kid come over the portal say yes in a very, very quiet answer. So it could be her.
Potentially, yeah. But yeah, it's just the same thing over and over. It's very strange.
Interesting. So the portal, I have seen you use that in other videos. Is that like one of your favorite tools to use, or do you have maybe another tool that you favor over other ones?
I've grown really fond of the portal just because it's really clear for our viewers to listen to, because a lot of people, they hate the white noise of spirit boxes.
Oh, I'm right there.
Yeah, I personally don't mind it, but I know like when we're putting a spirit box session in the video, and if it's any more than 5 minutes, people are like over it, right? But sometimes you get so many good answers in like 15 minutes, and I don't know. I like the portal a lot.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of times that we sit there and we just like keep listening to it over and over again, and then we don't realize it's like been 20, 30 minutes, and we're like, well, this is so fun. Like, and a lot of the things you hear in person is what I really like about the portal. Where some spirit box you can as well, but just not as often.
Yeah, and I feel like with the portal too, you like get the person's real voice almost.
Yeah,
like you can
it's all
really
different
hear
tones.
their like vocal tones. Like a lot of times, like when I'm listening back to like the what's the freaking voice recorder that everyone loves to use, that Panasonic one, or the super famous one that everyone likes to use, every voice almost seems to sound exactly the same, which is strange to me.
Yeah.
Not every time, but like a lot of the like harsher voices, I guess, the ones that are like like breathy, like they sound super similar, and it's just tough to like for me to like say that every time that it's paranormal, because we do know that that device like can repeat old recordings, I believe is what Kindred Spirit said once. It has this weird ability to like bring forth old voices in its recordings.
Are you talking about the DR60, the really expensive one?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it does
DR60
sound similar like every single time.
It does. And it's really strange to me. But like the portal, you can hear the differences in voices. You can through the spirit box sometimes.
Yeah.
There is a lot of times where they seem to just kind of sound the same. I don't know if it's just like a general voice that every spirit can use. Like that would be kind of crazy, but it could be.
Yeah. Yeah, we've heard like kid voices through the portal, women, men, everything. It's something, things that don't sound human.
Like when you're talking to the same person, it's always the same voice, so you can tell that you're continuously communicating with the same spirit. Spirit box, I find you can tell if they're male or female, but otherwise it's a little hard to differentiate. Portal has like, I've never heard the same words come through the portal either.
No,
there's no repeating words or anything like that. I mean, Spirit Box not really either, but we were previously using this one app, and we like kind of found like it was just kind of weird because we would hear like the same phrases and stuff. We're like, hey, we don't believe this anymore, and we like moved on, and we ended up actually using what's it called? Phasma Box, yeah. And we've never heard the same phrase once. It's names that we shouldn't be getting at locations if it wasn't legit.
The answers are more direct to our questions, which is like crazy.
Yeah. With the Phasma Box, Trevor always likes to bring up the experience he had at old Lincoln County Jail when he was listening to it and heard like a boat horn through it.
Yeah, we've heard train horns.
Yeah,
he like
weird.
Pulled his freaking headphones off and was like, "Can this thing make horn noises?" And was like super confused about it because he didn't think it could make noises like that. I think he's in the chat, so if that's the correct story, Trev, let us know. Shout out to everyone that is in the chat. We haven't had a chance to give them all a shout out, but Rachel, Macy, Sherry, Wolf Hunts, John, Trevor's in there, Kim Paranormal, who will be on in a couple weeks.
Nice.
So shout out all of y'all for joining us in this conversation. So I guess this has to lead me into my next question. Together investigating, what place would you say is like the most famous or has the best, known story that you've gotten to like investigate and experience?
Definitely the Conjuring house. We just got back from there.
Okay, for sure.
The video's not out yet, but that's definitely the most famous place that we've investigated, along with probably Bel Air.
Bel Air's really, and Lizzie Borden.
Lizzie Borden, yeah.
Oh, Lizzie Borden house. Okay, I'm sure the video's out for that then.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I haven't watched it myself, but give me a synopsis of something that happened that night, because that is a place that is definitely on my bucket list.
I think Tara's got this one. She saw something pretty weird there.
This house is really haunted. I heard so many mixed things from people being like, oh, nothing happened to me there. I don't know if it's really haunted. And then it's like, because it's so popular, it's pretty expensive. So we're like, okay, well, you know, it's kind of hoping that like we do really get like activity and that it's not just, you know, its name. But I actually had seen something that changed my persona completely. Like, I'm very jolly and happy. I make a lot of jokes. But at one point, I actually saw two hands like reach for Paige's, like the back of her neck, like it was going to strangle her. And the hands weren't attached to anything. They were just hands. And then it was gone like in an instant. It was just very quick. And then I went from like Terra to like a mess. And I didn't want to film anymore. I just wasn't interested. I was like, okay, like Paige wanted me to like, I don't even know when we were filming something, and she wanted me to be on camera, and I'm like, please don't let me be on camera. Like, please take it. Like, I don't want to be on camera. I don't want anything to do with this anymore.
Yeah, her personality did like a total 180.
Yeah, it was just weird.
Interesting. Would either of you say that you're empathic at all?
Definitely. 100%. We even see a lot of things. We hear a lot of things. Like, we're very in tune. And I think that's why, like, we do get the evidence we get, because I feel like spirits know that we're like this, and they know that they can talk to us and show themselves to us. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I feel that 100%. Like, we've been talking about this for weeks now with our guests. Like, the more open you are to experiencing the paranormal, the more experiences you're going to have. Because if you're completely ignorant to the fact that there's, you know, spiritual energy happening, you're probably not going to have an encounter with them because you don't believe it. So you can, you know, if you don't believe, like, you're not going to, you might have the experience, but you're instantly going to go, no, like, you know, skeptic mindset. Like, I'm sure you have a skeptic mindset when you're investigating, because you have to.
Exactly.
But you're not going to experience paranormal if, one, you're not looking for it, two, you don't know what to notice when you're looking for it, and three, if you're not willing to open up your feels and let the spirits imprint you with their own emotions.
Yeah, definitely. There's been times where, like, Tara's not really like openly emotional, but there's been, what was it, Red Coach Inn, where you almost cried because you were connecting.
Yeah, I have zero, like, my emotional ability is very not great. I don't know how to describe it. But when I was talking, it was actually through Estes, and I was like listening to this woman tell her really sad story about how she was killed when she was pregnant, and I was just like fully immersed in that emotion. And I was like, I might cry. Like, I kind of want to stop. Like, I don't like to be emotional, and it doesn't happen very often, but every once in a while on investigations it will.
Yeah.
Which is really strange for me. Very, very strange for me.
Yeah, I would feel the exact same way if I went into a place that's haunted, and then all of a sudden, like 4 hours later, I'm middle of the investigation, I want to cry. Like, what's going on? I have no reason to cry right now. Like,
there's been times where, like, well, actually, I'll give you a, I guess, sneak peek. Well, the Conjuring house, I got really, really irritable in the basement, and I didn't even really notice until I reviewed the footage after. And when we left the basement, I was fine. So I don't know if something was affecting me down there. And then we had one of our team members come over yesterday because we're filming interviews, and she was listening to the recorder of when another team member was in the basement, and he was getting really irritable as well when he was down there by himself. So I don't know.
And we've heard of like other like paranormal things that we have getting irritable at the Conjuring house as well. So
yeah,
seems like a weird trend.
The Conjuring house, I saw on Instagram, you also got to see the Annabelle doll.
Oh, that's a replica.
It's a replica,
it's
yeah.
A replica?
Yeah.
Okay. But still, I guess, does it give off, like, I guess, the like perceived like feeling that you would get like being in the house and like seeing the doll? Does it give you like, I don't know, like,
It's definitely creepy.
yeah, I
Yeah.
guess like creepy vibes, I guess.
Yeah, because it's an exact replica, so it has you really thinking about the real one, right?
Yeah,
Right.
and it's just kind of like sitting there, and it's like, I don't trust you, even if you are a replica.
So was there anything like weird like surrounding the doll? Like did anything weird happen around the doll at all? Obviously, if it's going to spoil anything, tell me to shut up.
No, I don't think
I
there's.
don't
Well,
think so. Maybe cat balls or
the
flashlights.
cat ball went off
Yeah.
on
Okay.
its little stand a couple times,
Yeah.
but other than that, nothing
no.
really.
Okay, fair enough. When does that video come out? Are you still working on it? No release date or?
No release date yet. I haven't started on it. I've just been going through footage. I'm probably starting on it this weekend, but I'm planning on switching things up, so it might take me a little longer to edit this one than it does for my other videos. But I'm hoping in the next 2 weeks, hopefully.
Awesome. I'm sure it's gonna be fantastic once it finally premieres. I guess, do you have other projects coming up or locations? And it seems like you two went on quite the adventure when
Yeah,
you came to the
We
US.
did.
We went to Grand Midway Hotel in Pennsylvania, which was insane. Like, highly recommend that place.
Probably one of the coolest spots we've ever been.
I think it was my favorite on the
Really?
road trip.
Yeah.
Really?
The whole hotel is like, it's just a horror fan's dreamland. Like,
Yeah.
Sweet.
It's got a Ouija board on the roof, like a full size Ouija board, and the biggest tarot card on the ceiling. There's just horror memorabilia everywhere. Every room is a different theme. There's like a werewolf room, vampire room, Frankenstein
cool.
room.
Yeah,
There's
I'd be all about that.
The whole place is lit up different colors, so it's like super creepy. There's taxidermy everywhere. It's awesome. And it's haunted for sure.
And we play a fun game there, so
Played a fun game there.
yeah. We slept alone for the first time.
Everyone had to
There's
sleep in a certain
yeah.
room.
There's a
Really?
game that goes with
Yeah.
that.
The one room, the canopy room, is like the most haunted. And yeah, we forced one of our team members to sleep in there and see if they could make it the night.
Yeah, it's 9 out of 10 people don't make it through the night.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
There's a nun statue in there that appears in your dreams, apparently. There's
What?
Yeah, there's this
Okay, yeah,
life-size doll.
That
That's
place sounds
haunted.
freaking awesome.
Yeah. And then there's Regan in the closet from The Exorcist, like a full prop just looking at you in bed. And there's like 8 or 10 Ouija boards in there. And
There's
a
lot of
woman
Ouija boards.
was, I believe she was strangled in there and died, and now she's in there all the time, and she always tells people to get out, like screams at them in the middle of the night.
When they're sleeping.
Wow.
And she may or may not be buried in the basement.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Wow, that place sounds absolutely insane.
Yeah. There's a lot of different like little stories about that place in different areas.
Crazy stories.
Yeah. It's seen some history, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And that's in Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
Yes.
Windber, Pennsylvania, I think.
Windber, yeah.
Windber.
Windber.
Okay. Don't know Pennsylvania too well, but I'll
Me
take your
neither.
word for it.
Where else did we go? Oh, we went to Hinsdale House.
Okay.
That was
probably my favorite on the trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
was
place
really
has gotten
haunted.
super popular as of late. It seems like.
Very creepy.
Yeah, that's really the vibe that all the videos I've watched. I probably watched 5 or 6 different investigative teams go in there, and everyone seems to have weird shit happen. That's just like, okay, the aesthetic of the place already creepy.
Yeah.
And then you add, like, all of the shit that happens, like the bangings that people catch, and like the voices, and it's just like
There was
what the
voices
fuck
for
is
sure.
No,
Yeah.
it was one of the strangest hauntings I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It just it didn't really make sense. I don't know how else to describe it.
I was talking about this with one of our team members yesterday, but we think like people barely just scratch the surface on this place. Like there's so much mystery to it.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I think it's a spot that's just had so much shit happen at it that it's just like a giant portal of like paranormal activity. Like,
Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, where do you even start? What do you even know?
Yeah.
Like, what do you think you're talking to? And it's hard to.
We really tried to decipher, like, okay, who is this? What story is this from? And we just didn't know. We're like, you know what? Let's go with it. Like,
Yeah.
whoever's talking is talking, but like, we couldn't. They don't give you their names or anything like that. Like, that was very hard. We just kept asking, nothing.
yeah,
But they
I've
communicate.
also, for us, it's always been difficult for us to get spirits to tell us how they died, what year they died, and their name. Some spirits will say their name, but I don't know if it's actually their name or if they're reaching out trying to talk to that person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're not saying their name, they're saying someone else's name because that's who they're trying to talk to.
Yeah. I think the first time we ever got a spirit to tell us exactly how they died was at the Naples Hotel, which was also on this trip.
Yes,
in a
that
portal
was very
session.
weird.
There was a man that was hung himself on the 3rd floor, and I think Neck came through the portal, and then he literally told us he hung himself. So that was weird.
Whoa.
Yeah. That's another thing, like, about the portals, like, why would I say that? Like, it's so random. Like,
It is so random. Yeah. For those types of words just to come through. Like,
yeah.
it makes no sense at all. It's like, we've always said that too, like on the spirit box, if you get like a spirit to cuss at you, like that's impossible.
Yeah.
Impossible for that to be on the radio. Like that's censored radio waves. Like they can't say that on the radio.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we've definitely had
that. Or like just certain things that come through are just don't make sense to be on the radio. I don't know. Like
100%.
Like at the intro, like there's no reason for "I'm the devil" to be coming across on the radio. Like,
right?
It just doesn't happen. It's not going to happen. Any other locations that you stopped by on that trip?
It was just the 4.
Yeah, it was the 4.
Yeah. The Naples Hotel was actually very last minute because we were supposed to go back to Wildwood, but there was a mix-up with booking and we lost it. So we I'm glad we were already at Wildwood and we have a video on it, but we really wanted to take the other half of our teammates there. But maybe we'll go back.
Yes.
That's another spot that's definitely bucket list.
Naples was cool. It was interesting. We didn't know a lot because we only had so much time to even
a day to prepare.
Yeah. So we kind of almost went in blind. We knew the main ghosts and how they died, I guess, but that's really it. We didn't have like any dates or some of the ghosts don't even have names. We couldn't figure it out.
It took us a while to even get any sort of activity, and I think because like there was a bar open downstairs, so there's a lot of people, and I don't know, the energy was just off for the first half, but like when everything calmed down, we were starting to get good answers.
It was when we went into the most haunted room of the hotel that really kind of picked up for us.
Yeah.
We got multiple rooms, and we investigated in the one that like doesn't really have like any haunted history, I guess. As soon as we went into the room that was actually haunted, that's when we started getting very strange, especially the portal, very strange. The hallway too, very haunted in the hallway.
Oh yeah.
Hallways always seem to be haunted. I don't know what's up with ghosts and wanting to hang out in hallways. They got some weird spots that they like to frequent. You know what I mean? Like
I know, or like the closet.
Hallways with lots of doors, the closet. Like, come on. You got to pick all of the worst spots under the bed. Like,
yeah. I saw something so weird in the Hinsdale closet up in the 2nd bedroom or the main bedroom. It was like this gray humanoid looking thing, but it didn't have a face and it peeked out of the closet. And we were just setting up to do our intro and I was just like completely in shock. I was like, what is that?
She's like, I saw something. I'm like,
Yeah.
don't tell me.
Tommy, Trevor is at a concert tonight with Jenna. That is why he is not here. So, do you have anything coming up that you're excited about that you wouldn't mind sharing? If I know some people don't want to share all of their future
Yeah.
stuff, but if you'd like to, I'd love to hear about it.
We are finally going to be investigating our first jail.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
jails are sweet.
Possibly 2 back to back. We're just waiting to hear back from the second one for confirmation on the dates. But the first one is for sure, and it is the Ottawa Jail Hostel. So people actually stay there overnight. It's been transformed into a hostel, but they still have death row there.
Ooh.
And it looks just like how it did back then, but obviously all decrepit and stuff.
That sounds freaking awesome.
Yeah. And apparently, like, it's always on the list of like most haunted places in Canada or Ontario and stuff. So I've been hearing about that place since I was a kid, and I've always wanted to go.
Yeah, that sounds like a really sweet spot. Have you done a lot of Canadian places? I know we talked a little bit about some of the places you've probably done with Exploring Harley are probably the same, I think.
Yeah.
I guess, what's your favorite local spot to hit up?
Spirit Rock.
Spirit Rock.
I love that our answer is the same. It's like a old ruin of like a mansion.
In the middle of the
burned
woods.
to the ground, in the middle of the woods, in the middle of the Canadian wilderness. Yeah, you just kind of, I don't know, it's really strange because the story is that 2 people jumped off a cliff. One was actually pushed and the other jumped because that was her lover and he died. So you got a tragic love story there.
Yeah, it's an indigenous story and the land could possibly be cursed.
Oh, from this event that happened with the people or before that?
Yeah.
From that event. And then
wow.
Essentially this rich politician man built his home on it and it burned to the ground.
Twice.
And, twice, yeah, and the ruins.
Twice? So no one's tried to do anything since then?
No, it just sits there in ruins.
Really?
No, it's like a little place people go and visit. And during the day, it's very nice. And then at night,
you can picnic there. You can hike there.
Really? So what happens there paranormal wise?
Oh God, a lot. I've seen these weird like ghost lights in the forest, and I didn't even really know they were like amber and they're big orbs, and I didn't really know what they were at the time. But we're just like, we need to leave because I don't know what that is. And then when we went to Greystone Manor, the owner was telling us that they get these orange ghost lights in the trees in the forest, and that's also indigenous land. And apparently that's, I guess, spirits of indigenous people protecting the land in the afterlife or something. I don't know. It was really weird. It was the first time I've ever heard anyone else talk about it and describe exactly what I saw here in my hometown.
Really?
So, yeah.
I can actually share a story. It's not my story, it's my sister's story, but I know it pretty well because I've heard her tell it quite a few times. And I'm always a little salty I didn't go on this vacation. But it's actually a really like morbid story. But my family was vacationing in the Keys in Florida, and they had like this house on a canal, and my sister and her husband were sitting out fishing in the canal, and they heard like a splash across from them, but it was dark out. They couldn't see anyone. They just heard a splash. And I don't know how many minutes exactly had passed, but it was like 30 minutes or so, an hour maybe. And they seen like an orb come out of like the ground kind of, or the water, and like go up into the sky. And she said it was like an amber color as well, and it like,
oh my God,
met up with like another amber orb and then just like took off into the sky. And then come to find out the next morning, the guy across the way had a heart attack on his dock and fell in the water and drowned and died.
God.
Oh my.
Wow.
So I don't know. Like the orbs, like totally could be. Like my sister has a personal account that has something similar to that. So
Yeah, it's weird. It's very strange.
and
Definitely.
I've noticed things like that too when I'm out like investigating. A lot of the cemeteries that I've been to around here have something similar to that. Like you'll see like a light in the woods that isn't normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it just like you can tell that it's not like a lightning bug or something like that. It's just different. It's either it's bigger or it's more
Yep.
intense, and like it's almost like you're drawn to looking at it. Like you wouldn't be like drawn to like look at a lightning bug, right? You just like see it.
Yeah.
But like these orbs, like you're almost like intensely like connected to it for a moment, and like you
Yeah,
know
you're
you're
so
supposed
right.
to see it or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I sat there just staring at it for like a good minute, and like another person I was with saw the exact same thing, and we're just like, "Hey, we need to leave because there's nothing like beyond that light. It's not someone's flashlight in the trees. There's no one out there. It's not a lightning bug. It's way too big and bright, and yeah, it was weird. First time I've ever seen something like that. We're planning to go back, so
Mm-hmm.
Have you
I'm
done a video
curious.
at that place?
Yeah,
Yes.
I did, and it kind of turned into this weird skinwalker theory video.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just a very weird night.
Have you had?
Like,
Go ahead.
so we go to these haunted places and we stay multiple days sometimes, and we've never been able to stay there for more than a couple hours. We always get spooked out. We've actually run,
Yeah.
and
Really?
We ran, yeah.
that's not so normal for us, especially for Paige because she lives in the country, so she's
Yeah,
not
I'm
scared of
used
like
to it.
animals or anything like that. But just very weird coincidences that everything kind of added up. Like, what is in these woods? Because whatever it is, it's not normal.
What happened was I was under for Estes, and all three of the people that we were with, Terra, our friend Jess, and then our other team member, Rhonda, at the same time, they all saw these weird eyes in the trees, and they were human height. So
Two pairs of eyes.
Yeah.
One was a little taller than the other. Very bright.
And like the only thing we can think of that it could have been was like a bear on its hind legs or something, but I don't think it was. I don't know. And
Feel
like
like
with the
you're a bear though.
right, and then like with the answers coming through Estes, everything was connecting to what they thought they were seeing, and it was weird.
And we didn't know anything about skinwalkers, and we weren't like big
we didn't.
believers or anything like that. And just we did our research after the fact, and we were like, this is really strange, and it doesn't make any sense other than there's something weird in the woods that isn't animal or human.
Yeah.
At least it might look that way, maybe. I don't know.
And skinwalkers are like indigenous lore, right? And it was an indigenous story.
It's an indigenous curse.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Like that's what we kind of think. Like we probably talk about it every live stream, but Mouse Cemetery, it's our favorite place to go here. And the photo evidence that we captured there, there's no way it's something human that haunts that place. It was just too big. Like the shit that happened that night, like a tree fell down and blocked our exit.
Oh my God.
Like it just doesn't make sense that it would just be like a normal spirit. And it's got to be something way more supernatural than just a ghost. Like
yeah.
I don't know about skinwalker or anything, because I've kind of like I believe in cryptics and stuff like that, but when it comes to like spiritual energy, it's harder for me to like think of something like a beast creature running around. Like it just way harder for my imagination to make that real.
Yeah.
Totally.
And like I believe like there can be super dark energies, but like not beast like. They're most likely going to be some human charged entity, but it's not going to be I guess I don't even know, honestly. Like my
We don't
brain
either.
so scattered on the idea of like skinwalker, Wendigo, like all of these things. Like it's hard for me to constantly be like, yeah, this is what I believe, because other
Mhm.
people have say things and I'm just like, wow, that's such an interesting theory on that. Like I didn't think about that. And like, could there actually be like a skinwalker that wants to like become me? Like, is
Mhm.
that possible? I don't know.
Weird. Like, I'm definitely open to the possibility that there's some really weird things out there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't know exactly what they are or like anything like that, but I don't know if I want to hunt them either.
Yeah, we didn't even.
What do you do when you come into a real life encounter with like a skinwalker? Like, what's everyone's plan?
Yeah.
That all these YouTubers out here looking for a skinwalker. What are you gonna do if it's real and you meet one? You have no shot. I'm sorry, it's gonna win, and you're going to die. And then
That'd
that
be the
video's
end of your
never gonna
channel.
make it out.
Yeah. Then he did
Yeah, I
it all
don't
for
know.
nothing.
Right. Now the skinwalker is you.
Oh,
Yeah,
there's
I
some
don't
weird
know.
things on the internet that like about skinwalkers and stuff, and it's just like, who knows what's real and what's not, but it's weird. Whatever it is.
Right. And I guess that's what we're all trying to figure out is what's
Mhm.
real, what's not real. And I guess this, like, what do you think about cryptics? Do you believe in like Bigfoot and like the skunk ape and Yeti?
I'm definitely open to it.
Yeah, I think like there's so many reports on the same things and people describe the same things, and it's just like, I don't know. I think like Bigfoot and stuff could be out there for sure.
Yeah, I think it's definitely possible.
Do you think it's actually like a real, like, I guess, ancient animal? Or do you think it's more like an interdimensional being?
Oh God, I don't even know.
I have no idea. For stuff like that, like for me, I'm a realist, so I think it would have a lot to do with like evolution.
Okay.
That like in some way on the evolutionary tree, it kind of went this way, and then there's so few of them that it's like so rarely seen. I would be more on that end rather than like a mystical creature. But I do believe in some mystical creatures. Like I believe in fairies.
Okay. Fairies are very interesting because
Yeah.
I don't know if
like there's
Bigfoot there.
fairies, like the legend of fairies dates back even further than even like Bigfoot probably does, honestly. Like so far back to like AD and like BC. Like it's crazy. And
Mhm.
there's a video out there of this guy. I don't know what his channel is, but he says he sees fairies and he draws photos of them. I don't know if he's just a really good artist and draws them, but like he says he sees them and draws them. And like his photos of them make you really want to believe in them because they're so freaking cool. And like you can buy them after he does it. So I don't know if it's just like a thing he figured out or if like he can actually see these fairies, but I think they're very interesting. And like there's good ones, there's bad ones, there's evil ones, there's nice ones, there's everything.
I've always heard about like them being evil and not what you like, not what people think they are, right? Yeah, not Tinkerbell. Where's that one place in, is it Newfoundland or Nova Scotia, Terra? The Belle Island Hag, and it's got like fairies in the forest.
I think it's Newfoundland. I think.
Yeah, I don't remember, but
it's there somewhere.
Yeah. Apparently people go into this forest and will get like lost for days, and it's because of these fairies or something, and they're just evil. I don't know.
And apparently it's like a really popular path for like kids to walk to school or one.
Interesting. Okay. So what about aliens then?
At least their parents would get them like and could like offer them. Crazy.
Tara's freezing.
Yep, she's freezing.
Am I freezing?
Yeah, you froze. We missed, I think, like half of what you said.
But yeah, aliens. I believe in aliens, 100%.
Have you ever seen a UFO?
I honestly think I have twice.
Okay. What happened?
So it was actually, the first time was at the farmhouse that I lived in, the haunted one, and it was really, really weird. I didn't see it, but I saw something strange outside. Like, I was laying in bed, and there's 2 windows on the wall, the far side of the wall, and it was summertime, and the sky just lit up green, and it like beamed through the windows, and then it faded out. And I don't know what it was. I woke my mom up, and she's like, "Oh, it's just the snowmobilers." And I was like, "What are you talking about? It's summer." Like, and why would it light up the whole sky in the room? Like, she was half asleep. But that was weird. And then there's another time at a different house, well, this house, I was watching TV, and the window was behind the TV, and I could see something like disc shaped outside, and it was green. It had 2 pink lights on the side, and it was like falling in a zigzag. And then like I got up and I went outside to see what it was, and then I saw a bunch of other people out on the street with their flashlights, because I guess they saw the same thing falling from the sky, right? I think like it could have been a meteor, but I don't know. It was just too weird looking for me to dismiss it as something natural.
Right. Yeah. I only had one experience with Trevor. We were at my parents' house. We had something triangular fly over us, and like the light came like through the trees and was like illuminating around us. And then like pretty much as soon as we noticed what was happening, like it just disappeared.
Yeah, it's weird. Very weird.
But I also think aliens too are also like something similar to like experience with paranormal. Like you have to be willing to accept it.
Exactly.
I feel like they have some type of like way to like know what people are going to be more responsive to what they show them. I don't know if that makes sense at all, but
Yeah. When we went to Greystone Manor, we didn't even know about the whole alien sighting in Gasport, New York. And the owner just like during the history that she was giving us, she just casually mentions, "Oh yeah, there's aliens on the property too, by the way." I was like, "Oh, all right."
on the
Maybe
property?
Yeah. I don't know. She calls them
Whoa.
the Greys.
Whoa.
Yeah. Apparently one of the old owners would see like little gray men looking in her windows all the time. And
What?
there's a bunch of UFO sightings in Gasport, and oh, she's back. And I guess they say it's from these natural gas things that are along the creek beds or something. And I don't know. There was like all these weird connections that she was telling us about why the aliens are in Gasport, but I didn't see any aliens that night. I was a little disappointed.
Right? I want to meet a gray. Come on now.
Right?
Aliens
Take
are
me
real
to your
for sure.
leader.
Yeah, get me off this planet.
I definitely believe in aliens.
So you said earlier in the live stream that you played with the Ouija board and you didn't think that you actually had any real experiences. Have you used one now in your adult life?
We tried.
Yeah, we have actually on the road trip, we tried one almost every investigation.
Yeah.
Anything with it.
So we put Terra in blindfolded to do it at the Conjuring House.
Oh.
And just to see, right? And it was moving. She felt it moving, but it wasn't really making sense.
It wasn't making sense, yeah.
Yeah.
I answered yes and no questions a couple times, but like other than that, like.
Yeah. So we're still not sure about it.
Yeah, I'm on like I've talked about my experience like when I was a kid before on our podcast many times, but like I don't know if the experiences I had with it as a kid were real. They sure as hell seem like they were actually real, even still to me to this day. So I'm going to say they were, but I don't know if like doing it now, if it would ruin what happened. Cause I think what happened to me when I was a kid was cool, you know? And then I don't want to use it as an adult. and
Be
let
disappointed.
down, I guess.
Yeah.
Because of what it led to, like, is the reason I'm so into the paranormal. Like, all the events that started to happen when me and my sister started using this thing, like, religiously, like, I'm also worried that that past will come back through it too, because I've put it away, like, the entity that was haunting me for a couple years, like, he's gone. I've gotten rid of him, and I don't want that door to be opened again, because
Mhm.
it's not a good spirit to have around.
Yeah.
Like, it's violent, and the things that, like, me and my sister were able to, like, write down about his story and everything, because, like, this spirit was, like, actually, we had a full book, like, written of things that it would tell us, like, he molested children and trapped them in this
Oh
house
my
that was
goodness.
on the property, and, like, was just a terrible, terrible person in, like, the early 1900s. Gave us dates, names of little kids, like, all this stuff. If I wish I
Mhm.
had this book so I could go back and do the, like, real research to learn this story, because I won't even go back to that house. Like, even to this day, like, I don't drive near that house. Don't go near it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I guess that's just, like, I want to try it, but at the same time, I'm just so on the fence about what it potentially could, if it is a real thing, right? And it is a real portal, like, will that bring everything that happened back into my life and then start this whole hell circle?
Yeah. It could. You
It
never
could,
know.
right? It actually could. And that's what's scary about it for me. And, like, Trevor really wants me to do one with him, but, like, that's what I'm scared of, is to bring the past back to me. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
that door's closed. The only way I know that it could open is using that Ouija board again.
Yeah.
So, but, like, it, it drives me insane because I want to do it again. But, like, is using all of the tools that we have not the same thing? Why is it different?
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because, like, is it because it's more of a ritualistic thing than, like, I'm talking to a spirit, regardless of how we look at it, is a ritual, and, like, the paranormal world is kind of cultish, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of a cult. So, like, we are doing rituals talking to the dead. So, like, is it any different? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I definitely know that it's just like another tool to use. I think a lot of people don't know how to use it properly, and I think that's where it can be dangerous.
That too. Like, I definitely don't know how to use it correctly. I feel like Ouija board would be one of those things that would be really good to have, like, a medium with you.
Mhm.
Yes.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Like, don't they say, like, if you're going to do a seance that you should have a medium with you, like any form of seance at all, like, you should have one, because it's, like, it can protect you.
I feel like it is better for sure. And I think you get a lot better communication when you do, instead of
Yeah.
doing it just by yourself. But yeah, that makes sense.
Have you investigated with a psychic medium before?
Yeah. Yeah.
Kristen Lee from the Bel Air House, we did a seance with her. And then we were with a medium when we filmed with Selena Spooky Boo at her house.
Okay.
So that was interesting. But yeah, I would like to work with a medium, like have them actually, like, investigate fully with us one
Yeah,
day.
that would be cool.
Yeah, I would. That's something I would definitely love to do too. Like, the couple group investigations that we did, the one at Eloise Asylum, there was a psychic medium there. He's been on TV shows and stuff, and I forget his name, but he was on Travel Channel. He had his own show at one point. He worked with Chip Coffey and, like, all of the big famous psychic mediums that everyone knows. But he didn't, like, open up that night, which was kind of shitty, honestly, because I was really
Mm.
looking forward to that. He did occasionally, but it wasn't. You could tell that he really wasn't letting everything come through,
Yeah.
which is crazy to me that they have the ability to, like, kind of just shut it off.
Yeah.
Well, I
Like, I
think they've
feel like,
lived. Sorry.
oh yeah, probably because they've lived with it for so long, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like teach themselves, sort of.
Yeah.
Being an untrained medium can be really dangerous too, because you're letting things in you don't know how to shut them out, right? So you gotta learn.
Well, it's probably always hard at the beginning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Really
probably.
scary.
Yeah.
Do you think that people have the like ability to like make their self like medium-ish, like become
I think people can
more?
open themselves
Yeah.
up more. I think medium is a very powerful word because mediums seem to be able to like speak directly with the dead typically, right? I don't know. I don't really think everybody would have that ability, but to open yourself up to the spiritual world more, I think definitely.
Yeah. The things that we experience, we've definitely developed
Mm-hmm.
abilities, I guess you could say, the more we do this. So, but I wouldn't sit there and call myself a medium.
No.
Right. Yeah,
me
that's
neither.
such a, like you said, it's a strong word to just use as a
Mhm.
label, I
Yeah.
guess. So how many investigations have you done, I guess, as a group? We'll just say like together and since you started the YouTube channel.
So currently we have 19 investigations on our channel. But before that, we've probably like doubled that, like off of
Wow.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe even triple. I don't know. We were going to cemeteries and everything and like all the local spots and yeah.
Sure.
Cemeteries
Cemeteries
are
are one of my favorite.
Yeah. You get some good stuff in
Yeah.
cemeteries. One of our
Well,
best videos was in a cemetery.
Actually, yes, it's our best performing video. But we were doing this for 5 years before we started YouTube. Just
Yeah.
for fun.
Oh, wow. So definitely had, before you even started like trying to make a channel, already had like numbers of investigations
Yeah.
in the books.
We were just
That's
doing it for
nice.
fun at the time. And then
Yeah.
she was just like,
We're-
let's make a channel. I was like, okay. And we did.
I would honestly say me and Trevor, like, we've done a good amount of investigations, but we're still so green. Like when we go into like actually investigating a place, like sometimes it can be overwhelming. Like doing a place like Double J Ranch, it's this giant freaking resort. Like where do we even start? Like, and then we get into these different buildings and we don't know the entire history because it's so speculated. So like what
Mhm.
was real, what's fact, it's really hard to know. And I guess for me, it's just like, I give a lot of credit to you and the other guests that we've had to be able to like tell the history, because that's where we've kind of struggled, I think, is telling some of the history on these places. And you two do a very good job of telling the history and story,
Thank you.
and
Thanks.
then using that as knowledge and fuel for your investigation too. So you do a great job. Is history something that has always been a fascination for both of you on top of the paranormal, or was this, brought to you more of just being fascinated by ghosts and having the experiences?
I've become more interested in it when it's combined with the paranormal, for
Mhm.
sure. I know, like, back in school, I hated history, but I appreciate it way more now that I'm older. So I enjoy, like, looking into things and researching things. And Tara does most of our research, so whatever she finds, I'm always, like, happy to read about it.
I'm a little bit of a history nerd. I love history, and not just paranormal, all history. I've gotten more and more into it though with this, like, because you're not only learning about like the, paranormal history, but also the building's history, the town's history, the type of people that lived there at one point. It was
I think
very
I've learned
interesting.
more. I think I've learned more about Canadian history doing this paranormal stuff than I did in school.
True. We learned a lot of American history in school.
Yeah,
Really? You learned a lot of
Mhm.
American history in school?
Yeah,
we did. Yeah,
a
Really?
lot.
there was
That's
Canadian
so
history,
interesting.
American history, and then some other history class. I can't remember.
World history.
Right.
Yeah, we had like world history, but we really didn't focus too much on our Canada neighbors. It's kind of messed up.
Yeah, we know a lot about you.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I know a lot about Canada, like being a hockey player and everything. So I got mad respect for everyone up north.
It's not that much different than America. Even our histories are very similar.
Right. Yeah. Because like you're right there, like
Mhm.
when the
We're just
pioneers
one big
came
plot of
over,
land, right?
Canada was found first anyways, right?
Yes, I believe so. The East Coast.
So your guys' history would be a lot richer than ours, even once you get into like, Europe, coming over here and meeting with the indigenous people, which the tribes that we both have are mostly
Mhm.
the same.
Yep.
Especially here in Michigan, like we're so
Yeah.
close to you. All that separates us is the lakes. and
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
a river.
Yeah. And most
That's it.
Canadians live like right on the border. Like it's not very common that people are scattered. Like we all kind of
Yeah.
live in this one little area.
Yeah, Southern Ontario is like most of the population.
Right.
Which is like right on the border of New York. So
Yeah.
and the
Awesome.
border of Michigan too on the other side. So
Yeah. Have you done any Michigan locations?
Not yet,
no, actually, we have
but
not.
we plan to.
Yeah, there's some good spots out here. A lot of them are a lot tougher to get into because like the paranormal industry here is not as big as it is in like Ohio and like Illinois and
Mhm.
Yeah.
on the East Coast. I feel like a lot of the East Coast places, they have so much history that it's almost like every building's haunted. Like
Yeah.
honestly, like every building's been standing there since freaking 1900s and all the wars and everything that's happened over there. There's just so much
Yeah.
that's happened. Michigan just doesn't really have all of that.
Yeah, I feel you on like getting into places. Like even in Canada, it's hard to get
Very
in and
hush
be able
hush
to
here.
investigate. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
this is haunted.
Yeah, it's
right.
haunted, but we don't want you to film it, even though we advertise it as haunted.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, we get a lot of that too. Like you'll see a building will come out with like a story during Halloween and to like give it to the newspaper about how the employees are seeing ghosts and stuff. It's like, okay, I see what you're doing here.
yeah.
Because paranormal groups will then start hitting them up and not one person goes and investigates this place.
Mhm.
Like, okay, yeah, that was just a marketing ploy to get people in.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, where am I gonna do dinner on Halloween night? Oh, well, this place is haunted. Let's go eat there. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Like I don't if you're actually haunted and using it to get people to make money, hey, more power to you. Us paranormal investigators want in that joint as soon as you say it's
Yeah.
haunted. Like, let me
Right.
stay the night there.
Yeah.
My town offers ghost walks to like all these places, and we've emailed every place that they talk about on the ghost walk, and they just won't get back to us at all.
Yeah. They're like,
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, or they have that one group that investigates there, and that's the only group they
Yeah.
let come in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot of the like really hot spots around here that we've tried to reach out with. They're like, oh no, we have a team that comes through for us. It's like,
Yeah, that's annoying.
okay, like what about us? Like we'll
You
pay
have
you
a
just as
team,
much as they
okay.
do. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll even pay you extra. Like, come on.
right.
Just let
A
us
lot of these
in.
places though do charge an arm and a leg for a night.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because
For
like
sure.
you got these places got to understand a lot of these people are traveling, so they need to get a hotel on top of paying for the night that you're charging them. So like if you're charging $500, the hotel is probably gonna be another 200.
Yeah.
So like it's almost $1,000 just to come there for a night.
Yeah.
Yep.
We were in hotels every other night almost on that road trip, so it was very expensive.
Fair.
And
bet.
with the American exchange rate.
Yes, the Canadian dollar not so good right now.
No.
Very bad, actually. Very, very bad. So if we go to any of these American places, we're paying like an extra third on top of what you guys pay. It's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, easy. So I guess Where would be your dream location? Anywhere in the world. Let's say you can spend a week there and you get all of the tools that you could ever want to paranormal hunt with.
Oh my god, that's such a
The
hard question.
pyramids in Egypt.
Oh right, yeah, we did
Good one.
discuss that.
Good one.
I have to agree with that.
Yeah, that's definitely a place. I don't think anyone's ever investigated there.
I don't
Yeah, I
think so.
don't think so.
That
Probably
would
not
be,
even
But it would
allowed.
be, that's a dream.
that would be crazy. Like in the
Yeah.
pyramids too, like go in the pyramid and
Yeah.
investigate inside the tomb. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that'd be
It'd be
so
real.
sick. But
Maybe one
would
day.
you be able to understand them?
I don't
Would
know.
they speak in like Egyptian language?
I don't know. See,
I
that's
don't-
where things
Yeah.
get weird in the paranormal with the whole language thing.
Right.
We've had-
Helena said that she believed that spirits can, because it's just energy, that they can translate it to however they need to be translated.
Yeah,
I definitely can see
potentially.
that. Yeah. We had an experience at Wildwood Sanitarium. There's apparently German ghosts that come through there. And we had Josh from Hauntings with Hodge ask a question in German. And then this lady answered him back directly in English. So that was weird.
Yeah,
I understood it.
I think he showed that clip when he was on.
Yeah.
Either that or I seen it myself.
Yeah.
But I believe he showed it when he was on here a couple weeks ago.
It
But
was
yeah, that
really
is
weird.
pretty crazy. Like for him to say it in German and then English response that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, that's definitely a weird one. And
I was blown away.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it adds more truth to like Helena's theory that they can manifest it however they choose. So maybe the Egyptians would just speak English to us. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
maybe.
know. I have no idea. I'm sure they
It
found a
would-
way to communicate.
I'm sure. Yeah. And what would be cool though is I bet it would lead to like so many answers to like obviously you're gonna ask, how did you make the pyramid?
Yeah.
Like how do you,
Yeah.
why did you make the pyramid? Like all of these answers
Is
that
history right?
mankind's been looking for years and we can't solve.
All you hear is aliens come over the spirit box.
Show us the cows.
Yeah, it's good. I don't know. That's definitely like would be top of the list if I could go anywhere I wanted in the world.
Yeah.
See, mine is Polveglia Island.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, what is
Oh.
What
that?
is that?
Okay, so it's an island in Italy. When there was a huge outbreak of plague, they sent all of the people who have plague to this island to die.
Oh no.
Oh, I
And they
think
would
I've heard
die
of
on
this.
the island, and then they would burn their bodies there. And they say that like 50% of the island is actually ash from all of the dead bodies. After
Yeah.
the plague went through twice, I believe, in Italy during 2 different time periods. And then after that, a doctor bought the island and built a insane asylum on the island and treated his patients freaking terribly. And then he died, and then the island has been off limits. It's literally you can't go there. You might be able to get special permission sometimes now, but for a long time it was completely off limits because it looks like,
Yeah.
I don't know if Exploring Harley is talking about Polveglia Island or another spot. But yeah, that's a place that I'd really love to go to.
That sounds intense.
That would be crazy. Put that
Yeah.
on my list.
Yeah. That's where the plague doctor really is like knows. That's kind of where it all started. The whole plague doctor thing is
Yeah.
from that
Yeah.
island.
That's wild. I'm surprised I didn't hear about it.
Not illegal to go onto the island. I thought it was. Oh, there's a question mark there. Never mind. Yeah, I don't. Some people get a chance to go there. I don't know how. maybe Exploring Harley can let us know if he knows, but as far as I know, you're not allowed to go to the island.
Probably have
But
to
people
pull
have
some
gotten
strings.
permission. Yeah, you probably got to
Yeah.
pull some strings and pay a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's my guess. But it definitely has that like super dark energy. Like,
Yeah, I could imagine.
Yeah, and it's totally forgotten about. And of course, there's Chernobyl too. Like that would be a really crazy place to go to. Any of these like time capsule spots, they're literally just like trapped in time and haven't been disturbed.
I like to go to the catacombs.
Catacombs is another
awesome
place that I'm sure is absolutely insane.
Looks insane.
It does.
Probably wouldn't even be able to explain your trip after it. Like you're like, words don't exist for this. Like there's no possible way.
Harley just said they went there no problem. You just have to find a boat. Huh.
Okay.
All right, looks like we're going.
Just have to find a boat. All right. Can't be that hard.
A boat to take you there? Is it going to come pick you up after? Or are you going to be left there?
Well, we just need to get our boat license. It's fine. We'll just take a boat. Doesn't matter. Probably illegal to be there anyway, so you might as well just keep doing all the criminal activity and just take a boat. I don't know.
Yeah, why not?
Why not? Why not? Might as well.
Fun.
If you're gonna do it, you might as well go all the way, right?
Exactly.
Do it for the content.
Yeah. It's all for the art.
I can already see the title. Stole a boat and found an island or something. I don't know.
Stole a boat, took it to a forbidden island.
Yeah, so took a stolen boat to a forbidden island.
So it's the perfect clickbait.
So I guess that leads me to want to ask you, like, when you're creating thumbnails, I've noticed a lot of your thumbnails are like fairly similar with like, is that following trends or is it just the look that you like?
I think I just kind of fell into it. Like I knew I wanted to put our faces on it because I did want Terra and I to be recognizable as our brand.
Yes.
Right. I didn't want to do the bright colors, but I just somehow ended up doing it and it's just kind of stuck. It's now like our look. It's different than everybody else's. Everyone else sticks to like these dark or like grungy looking thumbnails, which are cool, love them, but it's just, I don't know. And because Terra and I are so different, opposite, I find it's like we meet in the middle. It's spooky, but it's also bright and colorful for her. So, yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Like, I do all of our digital media, and like for me, I always just wanted to keep like something that was the same but different every time I made a thumbnail, just so that like you would have that familiarity when you see it, especially if maybe you're new and YouTube's recommending us to you a lot. Like, I want it to be like, okay, I keep seeing this. Like, I need to click on it. And
you want people to know, like, oh, that's Paranormal XP's video. That's Bump in the Night's video. Like, yeah,
exactly.
You want to be recognizable because if like sometimes that's another reason I put our faces on it, just because there's so many thumbnails with just a house and a title, and I feel like they kind of get lost when you're scrolling. So I don't know. It works for a lot of people, but.
Yeah, as soon as they see our face, they know it's our video.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because you're not always drawn to like the actual title or who the video is posted by. You're drawn to the image, right?
Yeah.
So you want to, and it's good that you have your faces on there because like even if you go onto someone else's show, like I use basically the same art you guys have used in multiple different videos and just put it on to one of our videos because they're going to see you two and be like, oh, they did a live stream of What Goes Bump Tonight. I have to watch this.
Yeah.
And And I think that's what's awesome about like the YouTube community as well, is we're all like willing to talk to each other and like create a real community of friendship
Mhm.
and like supporting each other, trying to help promote each other too, which is really awesome. Like when we first started this podcast, we didn't know anyone that was doing this, right? And none of our friends had a YouTube channel hunting ghosts or like had a podcast that could help, promote us. Like we had to figure out a way to meet people ourselves. Eventually we did, and we met Tommy, and it's kind
Yeah.
of spiraled into meeting you and Hodge and Cam
Honestly,
Paranormal, Exploring Harley, and it's crazy.
yeah. Meeting Tommy is like for us as well. We've met
Mhm.
so many people through him. Like he's just this little connection for
Yeah.
everybody, it seems.
Which is awesome. It's super
Yeah.
awesome. Have you actually met him in person? I think you've done
Yeah.
a video with
Yes.
him, right?
Yeah, we went to
have met
Chase
him.
Manor with him.
Yeah, I thought so. Good
Yeah.
guy. Great mustache.
Yeah.
But we never knew that could happen. I don't know if it felt like that to you too, but like we really never thought that like we would meet people on social media that would like want to collab with us or like want to like meet up one day and do something paranormal or
Yeah.
just hang out. I don't know. Like it's awesome to see a community grow like this. And I
Yeah.
feel like everyone that we've had on this channel is like we're like the central hub of like this new growing paranormal community that's really awesome, and everyone's inclusive and
Yeah.
willing to support each other. And that's, I think, what I've enjoyed the most out of all of this
Mhm.
is just a genuine like love and wanting everyone to succeed and no one going, oh, well, my channel and content's better than theirs, so why should
Yeah.
anyone go watch anything else? But it's like that's not the point of this. We want everyone to experience what we're experiencing, one, when we're out in the field, right? And then two, we want to be able to share another creator's experience, with us,
Exactly.
and like
Mhm.
be like, oh my gosh, I had the same thing happen, or wow, like the evidence is crazy. I've never seen anyone capture anything like that. Like,
Yeah.
I think one of the coolest experiments that you guys did, and I haven't seen anyone else do this, is you did like at the Beck House with Exploring Harley. You did a double Estes method
Yeah.
with the
We've
Spirit Talker app running as well, I believe, or some other
Yeah.
app.
Two spirit
And
talker.
okay, I thought that was a really cool experiment because, for one, the stuff that they were saying ended up matching the Spirit Talker and
Exactly. So
some of the
crazy.
history, and like that house, for one, is freaking sweet. And then two, like it just everything seemed to like connect in this crazy way. And it was
That
just a
was
really cool experiment.
the time that I was the most impressed with Spirit Talker, I think,
Yes.
because everything lined up perfectly. And having two going at once with dual S's, it was just crazy. But yeah, I don't know. I'm
I mean, you're
right
getting
behind
real
Spirit
names
Talker.
from like the people who haunt the
Carl
home
and
and own the
Amelia.
home. Just
Yeah.
weird.
We
Yeah.
like having Spirit Talker run in the background of Estes because it adds that extra element and gives us an opportunity to make more connections. And
Mhm.
it's never failed. Like,
Never.
yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I'm going to steal from you and try on my next investigation,
Do
is
it.
to double Estes
Do
with
it
the
for
Spirit
sure.
Talker, because I just feel like, for me, I need things to happen in threes to be like conclusive. I
Yeah.
don't know why, but to me, if three things happen at the same time, it just makes way more paranormal sense to me. Like if I get a voice on the Spirit Talker, like did something happen with an EMF detector, like, or did a cat ball or something go off at the same time, or the mel meter spike, like as other things happening as this is happening.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
once there's that correlation, it's like, okay, it makes more sense that what actually happened isn't an anomaly of just
Yeah.
randomness. It's like purposeful.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly.
we always like to have multiple things kind of around for trigger objects as well, because it's like if you see something or experience something or hear something and one of those devices goes off at the same time, it's just like giving you that extra like
Confirmation.
that what you're experiencing is potentially paranormal.
Exactly.
Now, have you, in any of your videos or photos, actually captured what you think could be an apparition?
Yes.
Yeah.
Twice.
Nice.
Twice. Greystone Manor, we think we caught a shadow person, and it makes sense because that house, it's like known for its shadow people. It's so strange. We pan over and something just like grows into frame and blocks out this light in the dining room, and it just looks like this human shaped thing sitting there looking at us while we're trying to film an intro that we actually never ended up using, and I almost scrapped that clip. So I don't know, I couldn't explain it at all. I went frame by frame, and it's just a solid black shadow blocks out the light. It was in the room with us, and you can see a hairline, and like it's so weird. And then Chase Manor, we think we caught a little kid up in the attic, like an apparition of a little kid, and we felt like it was a kid's energy up there with us, and we were telling them, if you're a little kid, turn off the flashlight. And I saw, reviewing the footage, I saw something like peek up behind the beam that the flashlight was on, and so I brightened it, slowed it down, looked at it, and it looks like a little kid's face peeks up, looks at us, looks behind itself, like as if like, you know, can they see me? And then looks at us again, and then the light turns off right after. So weird.
Wow.
I can't explain it.
He was playing with the flashlight.
Yeah. And then Rochelle G, who was there with us that night, told us later on that she caught a picture of a little girl up in the attic, and she showed it to us, and it was kind of the same color of what we caught on camera.
Mm-hmm.
So it was weird. And we didn't know we caught that until like way later, reviewing footage days later, but weird coincidence.
The attic was very active, so we definitely knew that there was a little kid up there with us for sure.
Yeah.
But we did not realize that we had actually caught their face.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Have you not necessarily captured it, but like seen an apparition with your own eyes?
Yes, multiple times.
Yeah.
I saw, I guess, who is believed to be Emily Davis at the Bel Air house walk down the stairs in broad daylight. The little girl in a white dress, and she was blonde, very tiny. And we were just hanging out. We weren't filming at the time. We were just waiting for the owner to get there to start the seance. And yeah, I saw her walk downstairs. I stopped and I just started laughing because I couldn't fathom what I was seeing. And I was like, I did not just see a little girl walk down those stairs. And then I told Kristen after what I saw, described her, and she's like, oh, that's Emily Davis. And then, but the thing about Emily Davis is she's apparently not really a little girl. It's this darker entity or demon, if you will.
Not human.
Yeah, disguised as her. So
there was never an Emily Davis that ever existed.
there's two of them there.
There's two.
The real Emily Davis drowned in the river. And I think, so I guess there's an older one there and a younger one, and the younger one is what is
not human.
Disguise. Yeah.
That's wild. So whatever this entity is trying to be a different ghost.
Yeah.
Kind of playing her to gain your trust.
Yeah, definitely trying to get you to trust it.
That's so devilish, man.
Right?
What? Pretending. Wow.
Yeah.
See, we have a similar, I think, story here at Nunica Cemetery, because there's a grave at the cemetery for an Emily, right? But it's an old lady. Like she died at like 87 years old, and it's a wood tombstone, so it's super old.
Weird.
But then you go there and you will have paranormal experiences with a little girl named Emily.
Oh.
And that's like the same thing. that you're
That's-
talking about, and the name is
Yeah.
exactly the same.
That's so weird.
It's very strange.
It makes you wonder if demons just like the name Emily.
Yeah, they just
Yeah.
pick a name and go with it.
Emily. Put that on
It is
my
weird,
do not
though.
name my child list.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, but we've seen multiple things. Like
Yeah.
again, like the thing I saw at the Hinsdale house is like faceless and gray. And Tara's seen, I think in Salem, you opened the bathroom door and you saw a man just
I
standing in the
did.
bathroom.
He was in the bathroom. I also saw a man at Chase Manor in the barn.
Yeah.
I've seen some spirits at my parents' house over the years. It doesn't happen very often. I could probably count on one hand how many times I've actually seen a full body apparition. But
Right.
it's
I think
happened.
I got two, I think.
Yeah.
2 times ever. Both of them when I was younger. One I was in high school, so I wouldn't really say it was that much younger, but the first one I was like 8 maybe. Both of them crazy experiences. One was my great grandmother. The other one was with a bunch of people at a cemetery. We've seen someone carrying like an old oil lantern like
Oh,
through the
man.
cemetery,
Oh, that's
and it
no
went behind a
thank you.
tree. And we chased it down, and there was nobody there.
That's wild.
Yeah,
It's so weird because like the things we see, sometimes it's so heavily detailed it looks exactly like a real person standing there in front of you. Like
Mhm.
that's how I saw Emily. Like she was solid. And then sometimes you'll see shadows or just white mist, and it's like it's so weird how like they can just show themselves in all these different forms to you. And I don't know, it's mind blowing
Makes me wonder if they're like not trying to, and you're just kind of
seeing the tail end of things.
just seeing what you're not really supposed to. in that
Yeah.
moment.
right. And it's almost like as soon as you see it, your brain wants to tell you you didn't actually see that. It's
Yeah,
like,
and
no,
then
no, no,
it's-
no. I was glitching out, bro. Like
Yeah.
we lagged for a moment. You didn't actually see that. It didn't
And
actually
yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
You're questioning yourself, like, am I crazy? Like, did I see that? Like,
Like
should I
rubbing
tell
your
people I
eyes,
saw
like
that?
Yeah.
your eyelash in my eye. Like
insane.
what was?
I know a lot of paranormal investigators who've seen nothing. And I'm like, if I had never seen nothing, I don't know if I would believe that you can. Like, the only reason I do is because I've seen it.
Yeah, same.
It's just weird. Oh, Harley, that's
Nice.
awesome. That's crazy.
Wow.
You'll have to tell us more about that later.
Yeah.
Definitely. That's yeah. And you never know like when you're gonna experience it either. Obviously, you
Mhm.
want it to happen. Like I don't know if you want it to happen. Is
It
it
just
like one of those
happens.
things that like it's an idea where it's like, oh yeah, that'd be cool, but then like, do you
It
actually want to
happens,
see
and it's
that?
like,
Right?
Do I
Go
actually
around the
want to
corners.
see a demon? Like, I don't know.
I was not expecting to see Emily Davis at all. I didn't even
No.
know what she looked like or was supposed to look like until I described her to Kristen. And she's like, yeah, that's exactly who she is. And I was like, okay. Like,
This is confirmation for you that you're not crazy.
yeah,
It's just-
yeah, it's true. And it, yeah, broad daylight. Not everything needs to happen at night, I guess.
Yeah,
Nope.
that's a good segue because like I've always believed that too. Like it doesn't matter where you go. If you are going to have a paranormal experience, it's either going to happen in the day or night. It's not going to matter. Like we were saying earlier, if it is like a residual thing to where it's like down to the date and time, it's going to happen when it happens.
Exactly.
Mhm. You can't like control it in any way either. Like you could go around a corner and something's standing there. Like I get that fear all the time. Every time
Yeah.
like place, I'm like, okay.
Anytime you
is
open a
today
new
the day?
door.
Like
You ever get like this like weird, I guess the best way to say it is like a sixth sense when like paranormal stuff like is about to happen, like something it could be a really stale night and all of a sudden you just feel like something different.
Yes.
Mhm.
All the time.
The way I would explain it, if you're in the chat or watching now and you've never had a paranormal experience, the best way I can explain it is someone took a balloon and a sock and rubbed it together, grabbed another balloon and a sock, rubbed it together, and filled the room with balloons that are statically charged. Like that's the way I would explain it. That's how the room feels. You just feel like everything's like clinging to you, and like the like goosebump feel becomes like an actual feeling, and you're just like clouded with like all of this energy that just doesn't make sense at the time until you start, you know, going further with the experience and opening yourself up more with the communication. Then it starts to make more sense.
Yeah, definitely.
I agree. I definitely agree with that analogy. All of a sudden, the room just feels so crowded, like out of nowhere.
There's been multiple times we've felt that, and then you know when it leaves too.
Yeah,
it's weird.
It just like goes back to how it was right before it happened.
Yeah,
it happens in like spurts. In some of the places that we've been to, it just happens like in a spurt. It'll be like 15 minutes, and it's just there, and then all of a sudden it's just gone. And then you go to a different room, and boom, it's there again. Or it wasn't there. You're hanging out, and you're about to leave. You're telling the spirit, "Okay, we're gonna leave. We're gonna leave," and then it's boom, it's there. It doesn't want you to leave. It's telling you, "Don't leave."
Definitely. We actually had that experience like that at Midway. That was pretty intense. Where we both knew that something was there. Of course, we couldn't see anything, but we both knew. And my back was turned to it, and I'm like, I don't like that. It's behind me, but I can feel it.
I knew something was there. I couldn't see it with my like physical eyes, but I could see it in my mind's eye. It was a woman standing in the doorway. Like, it's so hard to explain.
I know. I totally understand what you mean, because I had an experience where I was at a place, and there was said to be this little girl. I could see her standing in front of me inside of my mind. I couldn't see it with like my eyes, actually, but in my mind, I could tell that there was a little girl. I could see everything she was wearing, what color her hair was, what color her dress was, like her nail color, like shoes, like everything. And I could have told you this. Yeah. But I couldn't physically see her. And it was and the image of her like was burned inside of my mind for like weeks.
Yeah, that's definitely how it was at Midway for us that
bizarre.
time.
And like if people haven't experienced it, they're like, what are you talking about? And it's like, until you have that experience, you really can't understand it. It's just bizarre.
It's kind of like how when you wake up and you can kind of like remember a dream and like what happened. It kind of feels like that in a sense.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Like that's the best way I could like explain it in my head, is it's like when you wake up and you have a really vivid dream and you explain it to someone and they're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, oh, I'm not crazy, I promise. It happened.
I'm not crazy. This was happening inside my own mind. I'm not crazy. I hear voices. I'm not crazy.
Yeah, we hear a lot of things too. Like way more than we see things.
Yeah, we're very audible for sure.
Yeah.
See, I haven't had that experience yet to where I actually hear. I thought I've heard people's voices, but I always just go, it was something in the distance. It wasn't actually anything. I haven't actually heard like an actual voice. That's something I want to experience really bad.
It's like it's becoming more frequent now with us.
Yes,
and
definitely.
It's very strange.
It's shocking.
Very unsettling.
Yeah, it's like sometimes it's so close.
It's almost more unsettling for me to hear things than actually see it for some reason, and I don't know why.
I don't know. I don't like it either. Like, sometimes it's right in your ear, and it actually makes you jump. Like, there was one time that a lady said my name in my ear, and I actually fell out of my chair because it was like an electric shock through my whole body, and I just like fell over. And I was at work. I wasn't trying to hunt ghosts.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's just weird. I don't know.
Yeah, it happens to me a lot when I'm in bed. Like I lay there and it's like,
same.
Please don't do that. Like, put a pillow over your head. It's fine.
Have you had anything follow you back?
Yeah, we think Tara's got something going on right now.
I I
Yeah,
got
'cause
a
I mean, you
lady
just
in
went to the
home.
Conjuring house, so
Well, it was before that actually.
Yeah, it's been
Oh.
going on
Yeah.
since January 1st.
Yeah.
what was the most recent investigation leading up to that date, I guess?
In at the falls. That's what
In
it's
at the
called, right?
falls in
Yeah.
Bracebridge. Yeah.
I think I took the lady there home by accident, and she's just living in the house.
She took a liking to Terra during her Estes method, and her name is Sarah. And Terra has heard. What did you hear in your
She told me in my ear one morning. She said, "It's Sarah." I was like, "Oh no!"
Yeah.
And this was 2 days after the investigation. Since then, I can hear her. She kind of bumps around in my like in the upstairs of my house.
Yeah.
I saw her shadow. In my
I did
bedroom.
too. Was not expecting that. I was at Tara's place alone with her cats while she was at work, and Tara told me that like I'll hear things upstairs if I'm downstairs, and I heard something and I was just like, okay, well both the cats are with me, it's not them. Something's like rummaging through something in the kitchen and I'm home alone, so it freaked me right out.
I hear that a lot. It happens very often now. Don't know how to get rid of her.
Right, I was just like, I don't know how you would even get rid of a spirit. Like, no offense to the paranormal teams that go out there and do residential, places and offer help, but like, do you? For me, it's just like, are you actually making it worse, or are you actually help? Like, how do you help a spirit? How?
See, I don't know, so I don't try. Like, I don't
really-
want to make it worse.
I really think you need like a medium's help.
Yeah, someone who can actually like have a direct like conversation,
And yeah, pass them on.
Yeah.
See, I just don't. I don't know. I wouldn't want to offer that to a spirit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because I actually don't know if I'm helping or not.
Yeah. If you don't, if you're not, you're not like capable of it, like don't do it. We don't do it.
We don't.
Even though we're constantly getting answers through the spirit box and portal, like help us, help us, help us. And it's like, I don't know how. I don't want to mess this up for you. Like,
right. I can't answer that until I die, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm here to talk and listen, but other than that, like, I can't do that for you.
Yeah. I would love to, maybe one day, figure it out, but.
Yeah, and then that's the thing too. It's like when you do a residential place, I feel like it's so much different than doing something that's open to the community because you're filming someone's personal belongings.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that just changes so much because like you're bringing, if they do allow you to film in their house, right? Obviously, you would ask before you did anything like that. I know that for sure. But like you're bringing people that don't know this person into their personal residence, and then people are mean on the internet.
Yeah.
Like if your house isn't like up to some clean standard that people have in their mind, like they might make fun of your guests home and stuff, and it's messed up. And I would just hate for me to like try to do something nice for someone and then people go and bash that person online because of what they think's going on in their house or like what they have in their house or what their house looks like. It's just like people are mean like that. And I hate that I have to have this kind of thought, before wanting to do that for people because it's just like, I can't make people like someone or, like the content that I'm putting out there. But if I'm trying to help someone and documenting it and showing it to viewers, like I would just want people to respect what I'm putting out there for what it is.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we have those people that are just negative and want to be mean to people in the comments, and
it's always
unfortunate.
Always somebody.
Yeah.
Always someone out there that wants to hate.
Yeah.
It's so personal when it's in someone's home. Like, it's extremely personal for them, and they're really experiencing these things, and a lot of them are scared. And, like, they don't need any of this added drama from internet peoples,
Exactly. And the thing too is like for someone to come forward and go, hey, I'm having an issue in my home and I need your help to either even if it's just to get answers like who is this ghost, what happened here, if it's just doing the history research for them and that ends up giving them the answers that they needed to like feel more comfortable in the house or whatever it might be. It might not even be that the paranormal is what's scaring them. It's the not knowing what happened in this house. Did I buy a house where a murderer lived? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Am I at risk? Do I have anything to worry about?
Right. Is this something darker? Is my house on, a spot that some demon ritual happened? Like, who knows? And those are, the answers that someone I feel like residentially would look for from a paranormal team. And then might not always be the paranormal aspect, but the history.
Yeah. There's always that risk of you going in and then whatever you're doing ends up increasing the activity for these people, and then you could get blamed.
Making it worse.
So yeah, like even though you never intended to make things worse, like you never know what's going to happen. Energies interact with different people in different ways.
If they start to realize you can hear them, it could be like, oh, well, guess what? I'm going to make myself really hurt now.
Yeah, and to the family. That's
you get to go home, but that family doesn't.
Yeah.
Right? They're already home. So
it's risky. Residentials are risky, I would say. We haven't done one yet. We do have an opportunity for one. I haven't told you about that yet, Tara, but we do.
Well, look at me. I'm learning new things every day.
But yeah, I don't know. I think people just need to think twice, maybe 3 times before they take on residentials.
Right. And if you really think that you can go in and help these people, then I'm not going to, tell you not to do it.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
There's, that foreseen warning that what your intent might not be what the results end up being.
Exactly.
But unfortunately, I do have hockey practice coming up here very shortly. So I will have to bring us to an end. Where can the viewers find you?
You can find us on YouTube, Paranormal XP. It's all one word. A lot of people put a space between the XP, but it's one word.
I might have. Sorry.
It's okay. Even if you put a space between it, we'll still pop up. But Twitter, Paranormal XP _YT. And then Instagram, paranormal.xp. We couldn't get the same username across all socials, unfortunately, but yeah, we're on there.
Right.
Instagram.
Awesome. Twitter, I also pretty sure I have all of your links down in the description, so easy clickables down below. Again, I want to thank you for joining me tonight from me and Trevor. We really appreciate you taking the time and being flexible with us on the scheduling to come on and share your experiences and have a great talk with me. Hopefully we'll be able to do this again soon.
Yes.
I'll definitely keep in contact.
Yes, we'd love that.
You have a live stream and want us to come on, we're totally down for that as well. Hopefully one day we'll actually get to meet and collab and hunt ghosts too. So
that would be awesome.
That would be great.
Thanks for having us.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for having us. This was so fun.
Yes.
Of course. And remember, folks, to keep your ears and eyes open for what really goes bump in the night. Peace.